If you're wondering what a financial coach is, what is financial empowerment, and how I can help you move through financial trauma, this video is for you. My name is Rakim Sabri. I'm a financial empowerment coach, and I like to draw a distinction between a financial coach and a financial empowerment coach in that financial coaches generally help people work towards goals relating to budgeting, saving, maybe building credit and gaining clarity around the technical aspects of their personal finances. I do something similar, but slightly different. Financial empowerment is my focus, and what that means is I understand that there are the building blocks to what a good financial picture looks like, but I also understand that there are a lot of psychological roadblocks that prevent you from executing on maybe the things that you know you should be doing but aren't doing. For instance, budgeting, saving, building your credit, right? So there are a lot of people out there who talk about financial literacy, who educate on financial literacy, and I think that those people are very important to the community. In fact, that's how I got my start in this space. I decided that I wanted to be a financial educator as a result of the exposure to financial concepts, products, and services working in banking. But I quickly realized that there are a lot of people who are focusing on financial education and not enough people who are focusing on the mindset needed to execute on that education, particularly for disenfranchised people, Black, Latino, people of color, who don't have the same access to resources and privilege that our white peers have and historically have used to advance their position. That's not to say that our white peers can't benefit from a financial education or from financial empowerment, but it is to say that my particular area of focus is people who can relate to what is my experience, what has my past experience look like, and what is it that I've had to do and implement in changing my mindset to realize financial success. So as a financial empowerment coach, I can cover all the basics of financial literacy, but I also focus on those roadblocks that says either you don't deserve it, or that says that you feel you don't deserve it, that you're not entitled to it, that it's not for you, that wealth building is for other people, that there are generational curses that you have to navigate, fears, obstacles, structural issues, and I illustrate what success can look like by relating my personal experiences to your current roadblocks or current experiences and the financial principles that have helped me to navigate through those things. I talk a lot about my experience as a TED speaker, as an author, as a podcast guest, as a writer, so that people can see themselves in me, so that people can see what success can look like for themselves in creating a picture. My goal ultimately is not to create a bunch of carbon copies of Rakim, but to create the best versions of whoever the person that I'm sitting across from or talking to through Zoom or whatever medium we choose to communicate. So financial empowerment coach, and you won't hear this title very often, but a financial empowerment coach is someone who is coaching to mindset and empowerment that gives you all the tools to go out, learn the things that you need to learn, however sophisticated or basic as it relates to personal finance, and feel empowered to take action on that information. My most recent focus as a financial empowerment coach is helping my clients identify and address what are their financial traumas. Financial trauma is a new area of focus that speaks to identifying instances, experiences, either had or witnessed, that impact and influence the way that you interact with money. So I love to pick on Dave Ramsey in the examples that I give because he's such a big name in the personal finance space. And Dave Ramsey has basically built an entire platform around his own financial trauma. So I have consumed content of Dave Ramsey, and this is not to say that his content is not great, but I've consumed content and worked with individuals who have consumed content of Dave Ramsey's that have swore off the use of credit to build wealth in leveraging the purchase of properties or what have you because of Dave Ramsey's poor experience with credit. And so they are perpetuating a cycle of trauma that keeps them very stagnant. Now, that's not to say that the only path to wealth building is through leveraging of credit, but it is to say that limiting your options based off of somebody else's bad experience is one of the ways that we internalize trauma without having experienced it. Some of the other ways that we internalize trauma is by listening to the bad advice or misinformed advice of others and implementing that bad advice in a way that ultimately leaves us in a situation where we feel burned or disadvantaged or slighted because we didn't get a sound foundation. We just took somebody else's advice. So I'll give you an example of this. There are a lot of people, especially recently, who are getting involved in investing from a stock market perspective. They're seeing all the media hype around the meme stocks and the cryptocurrency and Robinhood's accessibility to investing. And what they're doing is dumping a bunch of money into things like Dogecoin, into stocks like AMC and GameStop, so that they can see rapid gains based off of what is being projected out into the world through social media. But because they don't have a solid foundation and understanding of what investing actually is, the purpose of investing, how to invest versus gamble, what they do is put their money into these platforms looking to make this windfall of get rich quick and ultimately lose all their money because they don't understand the cycles that come with the market naturally, but the cycles that come with market manipulation via all of this attention from social media. So when somebody goes and they invest, let's say their life savings, their rent money, their bonus money, money that they otherwise wouldn't need to survive into the stock market, and they get burned, aka they lose the money that they invested, that can create an environment or atmosphere that says, oh, no, I'm not going to invest anymore because I had a bad experience with investing. And that is another way that we internalize trauma through our experiences. But more than that, imagine that person goes and tells their friend who is also interested in investing, no, you want to stay away. I had $5,000, I put it into the market. I wanted to replicate the gains that I saw somebody making on social media, and I lost all of my money. Well, now you turn somebody else off from a medium and means to build wealth through your poor experience based off of ill-informed or poor expectations around navigating the stock market. So financial trauma comes in all shapes and sizes. It can impact anyone. It does impact everyone. And what we need to learn to do, and what my job as a financial empowerment coach focusing on financial trauma is to help people identify where those traumas are and how to overcome them. And as we start to look more into behavioral finance, why we make the decisions we do or don't, what things have triggered us to make those decisions or not, and how we overcome the roadblocks that we put in ourselves, we put in our path mentally and psychologically to then make the best decisions for us and our families financially, understanding first and foremost that personal finance is indeed personal. And so what that means is that there is no cookie cutter approach to personal finance. That what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. And what works for everybody else is not necessarily the best way to move forward. So principles, foundation, a strong understanding of what makes up the way these markets move, what makes up investing, what are the rules for building credit and managing your credit after it's built, what are the rules for saving for retirement, what are the rules for any area or aspect of personal finance, and then how do we navigate those rules to best serve us in our particular set of circumstances. I have heard many personal finance influencers, educators talk about rules for you want to take 20% of your income and invest it or put it aside. You want to take 10% of your income. You want to do the 40-20 rule. You want to do, there's so many different rules out there that tell you how you should live your financial life. And sure, they are very good guidelines, but for some people, their income doesn't allow for them to do those things. So they go and they read something that says, oh, I should be doing this thing, and my income doesn't allow for me to do that thing. So I feel defeated before I even get started. And that feeling of defeat prevents them from then taking action, even in the slightest, towards overcoming what is the obstacle that prevents them from executing on that strategy. Whether that means going out and getting more income by way of a side hustle, or increasing your salary by getting a higher paying job, building skills that allow for that to happen, or by figuring out where is the money going. So I make a lot of money and I spend all of that money on luxury items, food, going out, clothes, what have you, and I don't realize where my money is going because I don't have a budget in place. And so of course I can't save the way that I want to because I'm spending all of my money. So there's the intersection of a basic financial literacy or understanding of personal finance, principles, strategies, tools, products, and services. There is an understanding of navigating these different spaces from enlisting the help of professionals, whether that be CPAs, accountants, attorneys, real estate agents, lenders, whatever your specific financial goal is. And then there is the execution part that says, I'm sitting on a library of knowledge as it relates to navigating the world of personal finance, but I'm too afraid to do anything. So a financial empowerment coach is here to bring all of those factors together, help you sort out what's what. We're not here to tell you what to do with your money. We're not here to give you specific advice around investing. In fact, I am not licensed to give advice around investing or to offer life insurance, but I can talk about those topics in broad strokes from an educational perspective and to help you strategize around the best ways to leverage your mindset in going into these different avenues. So some of the areas that I focus on include an audit of your beliefs. So what are your beliefs about money? What is the law of attraction? So how do we establish goals and start working towards those goals? Because I believe that when you make a decision, the universe conspires to give it to you. However, if you don't take action after making that decision, well, then nothing's going to happen. How do we overcome fear and use fear as an ally instead of an enemy? How do we use fear as a resource? Especially in a world where people are leaving their jobs at record rates to start their own businesses, to pursue entrepreneurship, to make career pivots. There is a big fear factor associated with leaving the security of what you know and what you have known and going into the unknown to say, I believe in myself, I'm going to bet on me. But what does that look like? What does that mean? And what is the ripple effect or impact that decision is going to have on my finances, on my household, on my ability to feed myself or provide for if you have a family, and how do I navigate the stress of the unknown? So I talk about fear a lot and how to use fear as a friend. I talk about you don't know what you don't know, building a team, having allies and a support system that can encourage you and tell you, hey, I got you. Hey, you got this. Hey, you're going to be successful. Hey, don't worry. I cannot tell you how much of my success is based off of having a very strong team and support system in my corner to say, you know what? This is unorthodox. This is unconventional, but you're on to something. Keep going. And lastly, and most importantly, addressing the limiting of beliefs that we all have about what is possible, right? Some people might say, I'll never have $1 million. I'll never be a millionaire, without realizing that you probably will go through millions of dollars in your lifetime just based off of the expenses, the lifestyle expenses that you have, and imagining what could you have done differently in allocating just a portion of your income into something that would grow over time and ultimately produce $1 million asset or $1 million in assets over the course of time, factoring in compounding and growth. So if you don't believe that it's possible for you, then it will never be possible for you. If you don't believe that you can do it, then you won't be able to do it. And so the importance and significance of having somebody in your corner to hold you accountable, to help you get clear on your goals, to walk you through the obstacles that you might experience from a limiting belief or a fear or a lack of education is all the benefits that come with working with a coach. And so Rakim Sabri, as a financial empowerment coach, not only focuses on education, not only focuses on mindset, not only focuses on accountability, but is there to encourage, support, and hold your hand, providing you all of those things wrapped in a bow and walking you through and to the goals that you set for yourself. Not the goals that I set for you, but the goals that you set for yourself. So I get this question often: what do you do? What is a financial coach? How is that different from a financial advisor? How is a financial empowerment coach different from a financial coach? And I hope that this video has answered a lot of those questions. Now, if you are interested in working with a financial empowerment coach, definitely feel free to reach out. Again, I focus specifically on mindset, education, identifying and overcoming financial traumas. So if anything that I've said in this video has resonated with you, feel free to reach out. We can have a conversation about the best way that I can serve you and the best way that we can partner in helping you overcome the obstacles around what your financial future can look like. Until next time, this has been Rakim Sabri. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with your friends, your family, and spread the word, because what I do is unique. There are not a lot of people out there who are focusing on the things that I'm focusing on, and the people that are don't have the same story, don't have the same background, and certainly don't have the same experiences that I do, that I leverage in being able to help you.